Hello, I'm Michael with Entertain Me TV Show Reviews, and this is the review for Gold Rush Season 3, Episode 15, Redemption Road. In this episode of Gold Rush, way up in the frozen north, 3 mining crews are in a mad dash to get gold before the big three shuts them down. With just weeks left to mine the Klondike, the Hoffman crew is only halfway to reaching their 1,000-ounce goal. Out of pay dirt, Todd makes a desperate move to save their season, and at the Big Nugget mine, Puggy Snubble finally finds out if his grandpa's hot tip is a big bust or a big boom. At Porcupine Creek, Dakota Fred suffers a serious injury, which could be the beginning of the end for his season. At Indian River in the Klondike, the Hoffman crew's season is coming to a close with about 2 weeks left. The crew has little over 500 of the 1,000 ounces they want for the season. The bench cut is almost finished. Greg runs the last of the stockpiled dirt. With nothing to run, the crew has no option but to shut down. They won't run the Ross plant again this season unless Hoffman crew can find some new pay dirt. In desperation, Fred Dodge pans old cuts for any gold that the crew missed. With visible gold in the pan, Fred believes that he has found a narrow gold channel, which they missed between cut 1 and the bench cut. Dave has no time to lose. He has to get 10 feet down to the pay so the crew can once again fire up the wash plant. This ground has been exposed and thawing for months, so Dave is able to dig the first 8 feet of the overburden. But just as he starts to hit pay dirt, he stops dead in his tracks. Todd arrives to check on progress. 600 miles south from the Klondike on Porcupine Creek claim, the Dakota boys are still hunting for the bottom of an ancient waterfall. They are 100 feet down in the glory hole and spears are high. With 2 weeks left in the mining season, they have 139 ounces worth $220,000. They're just 21 ounces short of their 160-ounce goal. All season, the Dakota crew has been following the slope of an old waterfall. They believe the mother lode sits on the bottom. They are now 30 feet deeper than anyone has ever mined at Porcupine, and have hit a concrete-like layer that is almost too tough to break through. They've had to come up with a new technique. Dustin uses the teeth of the bedrock shock bucket to break up the rock-like material. Then Fred uses the larger bucket on his 340 excavator to remove it. Fred and Dustin decide to call it quits. It's just too tight for the 2 excavators. They're now down so deep that even getting out of the hole is too dangerous. In need of a new plan, Dustin decides to rerun old material. As he breathes melody on the new plan, Dustin gets an urgent call. Fred is hurt. Fred has fallen from his excavator and has severely injured his lower leg. Fred is down with a suspected broken ankle, but the Dakota crew is still 21 ounces short of the goal. To hit their target, Dustin has no choice but to conquer the glory hole alone. Dustin now has to dig the hardest material that ever encountered a porcupine on his own. The dirt's too tough and Dustin calls it a day, but Fred is refusing to quit. Fred ignores his son and the pain, and he returns to the deck side. Fred's ankle might be broken, but his spirit isn't. Across the creek at the Big Nugget mine, 18-year-old mine boss Puggy Snubble is just over halfway to his 300-ounce goal, 160 ounces worth over $250,000. But the big freeze is just around the corner, and he's completely out of ground. Puggy thinks he's mined every last bit of ground, but to be sure he brings in Grandpa John Snubble. The first thing John wants to see is where Puggy has mined on and off all season, the pit at Emerson Trench. Earlier in the season, Puggy mined a section of Emerson Trench towards the creek, but found nothing. Grandpa John is convinced that the sloping bedrock farther from the creek indicates the location of an ancient river channel. He's confident that if they mine all the way to the back wall, they'll find gold in the river channel. At Indian River in the Klondike, the Hoffman crew is out of pay dirt. Big Red, their wash plant, is shut down, but Todd has a plan. Todd has 10,000 yards of stockpiled Quartz Creek pay dirt that he never ran, but it's a 4-mile round trip to get it to Indian River. Todd calls the crew together to tell them the plan. It'll take 5 days to truck the 10,000 yards of dirt from Quartz to Indian. They'll burn through roughly $4,000 a day in fuel, but if there's not enough gold in the box after 1 day, Todd will pull the plug. To run all day, Big Red needs 2,000 yards of dirt. 2 miles down the road at Indian River, Dave is ready to run the first Quartz Creek dirt. After 5 straight hours of hauling dirt, Sterling spots a problem. One of his wheels is losing air and they have no spare tires for the trucks. The 3 remaining rock trucks kick it into high gear to make up for the missing vehicle. 20-year-old Logan pushes it to keep Big Red fed. Logan is forced up the road. He avoids a head-on collision with Kevin, but his truck is damaged. Todd's convoy is down from 4 trucks to just 2. Now he can't keep Big Red, his wash plant, fed. Crew mechanic Mitch races to the stranded truck. Running off the road, shook a throttle bolt loose. Mitch quickly fixed the problem in no time at all. Logan is back in the game. Once again, 3 trucks haul Quartz Creek pay dirt. Todd made a deal with Dave. If there's less than 1 ounce of gold in 100 yards of Quartz Creek dirt, they'll give up hauling dirt to Indian River. That could mean the end of this season. With less than 2 weeks left in the season, Todd and Dave decide to run the convoy deep into the night to add to their gold total. At 11 p.m., Thurber does his routine wash plant check. Rocks have somehow gotten into the sluices. They're shut down to investigate. Down south at the Big Nugget mine, Parker Snobble calls his trusted operator Rick to Emerson Trench. It's Parker's last roll at the dice. Following his grandpa John's advice, he's searching for an ancient pay streak he's missed earlier in the season. But to find out if the gold channel even exists, his crew first has to move 3,000 yards of overburden. That means hauling hundreds of loads of useless dirt a day with only 1 working rock truck. Rick's truck suddenly breaks down. Parker's new dig is now on hold due to a broken truck. Parker and Rick assess the damage. A 2-inch radiator hose has blown, causing the engine to overheat. They find a spare and fix the hose, but before they can start up the truck, they replace the radiator coolant. North in the Klondike at Indian River, Big Red is shut down and the Hoffman crew's chance of hitting their 1,000-ounce goal is slipping away. The night shift found holes in the shaker screen that allowed rocks to plug up the sluices. Vortexes in the sluice caused the gold to settle behind the riffle, but if any rocks get into the sluice, the vortices are disrupted, allowing gold to wash right out of the bottom of the box. Mitch arrived with new screens. The Hoffman crew only has days left in the season and Big Red has not been catching gold all morning. Big Red is now running again, but there's a good chance that the Hoffman crew may have lost a day's worth of Quartz Creek gold, up to $30,000 right out the end of the wash plant. At Porcupine Creek, despite a broken ankle, the Corvette is pushing through the pain to get last-minute glory hole gold. The compacted dirt he's digging is as hard as concrete. Dustin has given up. Now the pressure is on Fred to break through to more glory hole gold. The dirt at the bottom of the waterfall is too tough for Fred and his excavator. Over 100 feet down in the glory hole, they could be just inches from a deposit worth millions of dollars. Fred's not ready to give up just yet. At the Big Nugget mine, Parker's crew is desperate hunt for an ancient pay streak that has Grandpa John believes lies against the bedrock wall. Rick has finally hit the wall, but to find out if there's pay streak beneath, they now have to dig and run thousands of yards of dirt. Parker Snobble is testing dirt from an ancient river channel in Emerson Trench. Parker has no plan B. If there's no gold in the sluices, his season is over. It's not looking good, but Parker has one last hope. He stops the wash plant to see if any large gold has been caught in the duplex jig. Parker has found Grandpa John's gold-rich channel. With just days left in his season, Parker may have just found the mother lode. North at Quartz Creek in the Klondike, after 600 truckloads and $20,000 in diesel fuel, the Hoffman crew is loading the last of their Quartz Creek pay dirt. In just over 5 days, they've hauled and washed nearly 10,000 yards of what they hope is gold-rich Quartz Creek dirt. With just days left in the season, the Hoffman crew has 521 ounces. They need another 479 ounces worth $750,000 to hit their 1,000-ounce goal. There are rocks in the gold table, a bad sign. The crew may have lost a lot of gold. To date, their best cleanup is 137 ounces worth $220,000. To have any chance at hitting their 1,000 ounce goal, they need a record-breaking cleanup from Todd's Quartz Creek dirt. Todd thinks that this cleanup will be their best one yet, but Dave is not so sure. The week of sheer dedication and back-breaking work has paid off. The incredible 200-ounce cleanup worth $320,000 brings the Hoffman's 1,000-ounce goal within reach. So this was the review for Gold Rush Season 3, Episode 15, Redemption Road, which is the second last episode in this season of Gold Rush. The last episode will feature a 2-hour Gold Rush live. Be sure to tune in next week for the last episode. But as we're coming to a close in Gold Rush, we need something new to review. So if you have any suggestions on what I can review, please leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for listening in to this review. Take care now.